The Bootleg Racing League welcomes you to the Classic Cup Series. We are here at Rockingham tonight, and I'm Joe Segala, and in the booth with me is Chris Davis, a fellow Bootleg Racing League driver. Chris, tell us about the track tonight. Rockingham tonight, it's a mile in length. Tonight. Tonight they'll be going 40 laps around this track. Love these old classic cars, the Monte Carlos, Thunderbirds, and the Buicks out there. The weather tonight, it is 76 degrees Fahrenheit, 44% humidity, partly cloudy with an 8-mile-per-hour wind. That's going to cause a little bit of havoc on these cars, as they are very air sensitive. Driving these cars, you can really feel the air move around the car. Rockingham itself is a very tough track, especially turns 1 and 2 is really tough. 3 and 4 you can widen it out just a little bit. Definitely be a challenging track for these guys tonight. Tire wear will be an issue as there will be no tire changes.
Yeah, that's right, Joe. I always find trying to save my right front is one of the biggest things in these cars. They're heavy, they like to push, and that's the first thing that always goes when I'm driving them.
Absolutely, I'm with you there. I can't save my right front for anything, especially at this track. Who do you think the favorite is going in tonight, Chris?
You know, I think the usual suspects are going to be right there up front. I think Donnie Moore is going to be one to watch. I think it's going to be fun to watch everybody try and come through the field. I've got my eye on Austin Veltby too. I think he'll be fun.
Yep. You can never count out J.R. Shepard, who's always one of our top drivers here, and no matter what car he drives.
Yeah, I think J.R. Shepard goes without saying. I don't think it matters what car he gets into. He always finds his way to the front.
Here's a look at the point standings going in. J.R. Shepard leads points. Austin Veltby right behind him. And then in third, you got Donnie Moore. Fourth is Ruben Altice. And Low Jewel, the boss man, in fifth. So he's having a good season here. Last time we raced these cars, we were at Dover, and it looked like just about everybody struggled there. You were in that race, Chris. Tell us about it.
I was in that race for a little while. Again, I really struggle with the Classic Cup cars. I think they're a lot of fun to drive. I think they can get really racy. I just haven't quite figured them out yet. So I didn't have the best night out there. That's part of the reason why I'm up in the booth here tonight with you, Joe. There's a good example of what happens on these cars, just watching J.R. Shepard get the loose turning it around there.
Yeah, looking at some of the practice here, it looks like everybody's getting loose in the turns. It could make for an interesting race, as you really got to be able to manage the car and be able to have good car control. Definitely going to be a challenging night. It's only 40 laps, which doesn't seem long, but I'm sure it's going to feel like forever here.
Oh, absolutely, Joe. And I find on tracks like this, at least for me, when you get down to that yellow line, that can be the line of death. And a lot of times you'll feel like you want to get close to it, but if you touch it, that can be the end of your turn and around you go.
All right, we are getting ready to fire things up. Starting on the pole is Low Jewel. On the outside of him, Kevin Dunn. Then it's followed by Donnie Moore on the inside of row 2, Ruben Altice on to his outside. Austin Belkey is starting in the 5th position, and to his outside is J.R. Shepard. Chris, go ahead and take it. In the next row, it is Stephen Hilbert and Kevin Mooney. And in the last row tonight, it is Jason Minda and Jeff Harden. Last cars on the field. Pace car diving off. We're getting ready here. Green flag in the air, and we're underway. Lil Joe leads the first lap. Chasing him right now is Donnie Moore. Donnie Moore looks like he's going for it on the inside of low. They head on into turn number 3. Is he going to get it? Side by side off the corner down the straightaway. Donnie gets credit for leading that lap. But they're still side by side as they go through 1 and 2.
Lowell's doing a heck of a job dropping right back in behind him there. You know, when you're too wide like that early on, your tires are still cold, you're on the outside, it's really tough having someone come inside of you like that and not touch them and not get loose.
Yeah, it's extremely tough to maintain control of these cars when they're side by side. That's why I like these cars so much. They are such a big challenge. Lowell looks like he's still trying to go for it, though. I don't think he wanted to give up the lead quite yet.
I think he might be trying to save his tires. It looks like he's entering a little bit higher there than Donnie. Yeah, see, he's coming in a little bit higher. It may only be 40 laps, Joe, but I really say saving your tires is key.
Most definitely, especially with as abrasive as this track is. Meanwhile, a little bit further back there, we got Jason Minda. He's trying to do everything he can to get around Austin. Lost some ground just a little bit ago, trying to make a move on him. And it looks like he's falling into the clutches there of Ruben Altice. And we got caution on the track.
I didn't get a good glimpse of who that was that spun.
Yeah, I didn't either. Let's see what happened. Oh no, is it Lowell? Oh.
You know, he looks like he touched that yellow line of death, just like I was talking about earlier, and then it looked like he had it saved, and then just got tagged from behind.
Oh, tough break for Lowell. Good news though is that he does have that one fast repair. He can get in there and get that fast repair, and hopefully be able to work his way back up towards the front.
You know, we've all been there when that car ahead of you gets loose. You don't know what to do. Do you drop below them? Do you tap the brakes? Do you worry about getting hit from behind yourself? It's tough when someone's loose in front of you.
Yeah, and you've only got seconds to make that decision.
And half the time it feels like the wrong one.
So first caution of the race so far, and already the looseness that we saw everybody struggling with in the practice has already come to bite one driver. This here will bunch everybody back up, and I say it's going to be quite interesting here on this restart. You think everyone will maybe calm down a little bit and try to save their tires? Maybe wait till about 10 to go?
Well, I think you're probably going to see J.R. Shepard start to make his move. He's sitting there about mid-pack. There's, some time already clicked off here. About 30 laps left. I think he'll start making a move. I think you'll see Austin Belke go for it too. At this stage, Joe, do you think you want to be on the inside line or the outside line?
I'd want to be on the outside myself, just because I probably get a little bit better control of the car there. Being on the inside, I'd be too scared to get loose and try to save it, and not only wreck myself but take someone with me. Definitely don't want to do that.
That's funny. I actually prefer the inside line at this point in the game. I'd be trying to go in pretty easy, still save my tires, and I just find it easier to keep pace on the inside than on the outside with these cars.
All right, the iRacing Mustang about ready to duck on off. There he goes. Here they come. Green flag in the air, and we're back underway. Oh no! Big wreck right at the front. Looks like Jason got into the back of the 64 car. Kevin Nunn there. For whatever reason, I don't know if he spun the tires or what, but he just looks like he couldn't get going.
Spinning the tires, it's so easy to do in these cars. I only recently went to having a real stick shift myself, and that's what I struggle with in these classic cars. I think you're right. Spun the tires right at the start.
Yeah, spun the tires or missed a shift there maybe, because that looked even slower than just spinning the tires. He just could not get going.
That is so frustrating when you miss a gear and you can hear it spinning, revving, the RPMs are coming up. You don't know what gear you're in, and everybody's stacking.
Yeah, and I'm sure as a driver, you feel terrible because you just not only wrecked yourself, but like I was saying before, just took out some guys with you.
And it's panic-inducing when you're in the wrong gear. You don't know what's going on. You don't know what's wrong. You're just trying to figure it out, and meanwhile, you're getting hit.
Tough break for Kevin there and those behind him. Doesn't look like there's too much damage to Jason's car there. Looks like Kevin's going in and getting a fast repair. I believe Steven did too.
Yeah, Joe, it's times like this. If something like that happened to me, I just try and go into the pits, calm myself down, reset, regroup, relax, remind myself I still have almost 30 laps to go. We're going to be restarting all bunched up back together. Just relax and let the race come to you.
Well, Kevin started on the outside. Hopefully he can work his way back up through the field. Just like Lowe hopefully will be able to. So it looks like a tough go in the early going here for some of these guys. Uh, let's see what happens here when they go green again, which should be in about a lap or so here.
Unfortunately, Joe, I think the boss man has called in tonight.
Oh,
Oh, no.
break.
No,
Oh.
he's coming back out. I was wrong.
Okay, there he goes. I say, he's having a good season so far. I'd hate to see him leave a race early.
I'm wondering if he saved a fast repair because he was in pits for a fair amount of time.
He might have.
You know, and that's not a bad strategy sometimes. You're not damaged too much, so take the time and save that fast repair in case something else happens later.
Lowell's getting caught back up to the crowd as we are getting ready to go green again. Field right now in 3 and 4. So pace car is getting ready to duck on off. Yeah, 10 car still has some damage. He must be saving his fast repair as well. Pace car dives on to pit road. Green flag in the air, and we are back underway. Much cleaner start this time, although Jason is a little slow getting going there. Jason lost 2 positions on that restart.
Yeah, that's frustrating when you just start getting past one after the other like a freight train.
Well, and you're right about JR. He made his move and made it quick. He has moved up to 3rd. And now he is chasing down Austin to try and get 2nd. Donnie Moore still leading the pack right now.
He's running the high line like Kyle Larson. Rim riding all the way around.
Car's the right color, but it's the wrong number. That used to be Harry Gant style.
Yeah, I think he's just trying to go where others aren't.
Jason Menda looks like he's got his momentum back. He's pulling up to the back bumper of JR there. Hopefully he'll get to make a move soon.
JR just touched that yellow line of death, almost lost it himself. Getting loose coming off the turn. Somebody's in the wall.
Yeah, that was a 10 car there. Steven looks like he's pushing really bad through the corners.
That's that right front going away like we talked about. It's so frustrating when that happens. You go into the turn, you turn the wheel, nothing seems to happen. All you can do is let off, slowly grab the brakes, and hope you don't wreck.
Meanwhile, back up front, looks like the interval between 1st and 2nd is closing as Austin is catching Donnie Moore.
That's a great feeling when you've got the leader in your sights. I'm noticing JR and Austin are both entering that turn much higher than Donnie Moore. They must have figured something out.
Yeah, Austin, JR, and even Jason there followed him in the turn 1 on the high line.
You know, a lot of times I prefer running in 2nd or 3rd than leading, because you get to choose where you're going to go, and the leader has to start to decide, am I going to do something different, or am I just going to keep running my line and make them get around me?
Yeah, and one thing that's always been known about Rockingham is that it's always been a track. Oh, Jason slams the inside wall. Wonder what happened there. Did he get loose coming off a 2?
That's why I'm in the booth here tonight, Joe. That's exactly what I did last week, or last time we were in these cars. Get loose and no way to save it.
No
And
caution, though.
no benefit of the caution. Now he's really probably cursing inside his helmet.
Oh, that is such a tough break for him. Let's go back and see what exactly happened to him there. Looks like, unfortunately, we do not have a replay of that, but tough break for Jason there. Meanwhile, Austin, he has caught Donnie. Yeah, I think he's just waiting for his moment to make his move now. And he's got JR right on his back end.
He looks like a cat chasing down a mouse.
That was great. JR looks like he's going on the inside of Austin, trying to make a move for second.
And that's exactly what you want to see if you're the leader. You want to see the second and third place cars battling behind you. I mean, I know none of these guys are mirror drivers, but you can't help but glance and get a smile on your face when you see them dicing behind you like that.
That's right. The more they battle, the further ahead you can get. JR peeking on the inside again. Nothing there quite yet. Meanwhile, Austin going on the outside of Donnie. Can Austin get it? Austin's edging out ahead as they come off of turn 2. Donnie's right there, though. Now it's JR on the outside of Donnie, and Austin takes the lead as they go into 3.
That is such a great feeling when you put that much work in and you actually are able to grab the lead like that.
So move Austin and JR to first and second. Donnie falls to third.
And right about now is when I start sweating like I'm in the principal's office waiting for my mama to show up. With J.R. Shepard behind you like that, you know something bad is coming.
You can just hear the Jaws music kick in.
I don't think I've ever sweat more than those days when I either have Austin or J.R. Shepard on my rear bumper like that.
JR keeps peeking to the inside. He's not quite close enough yet to make a move, but he keeps peeking down there.
You know, I bet these guys are running the high line like that to save the right front. And now with 13 to go, 12 to go, they're really going to push the pedal to the metal.
Oh, we got caution on the track.
That is a horrible feeling when you're leading, when you've broken away from the rest of the pack like that and only 11 laps to go and the caution comes out. You can just feel the air rushing out of your balloon.
Most definitely. It's always a sick feeling to me. Let's see what happened here. Oh. Kevin Nunn and who's in the other car there? I can't tell.
Joe, did I tell you that the brakes in these cars are horrible?
That would be the 80 car of Kevin Moody. Looks like he got into the back of Kevin Nunn. Here it is from Kevin's point of view. Oh. Yeah, it looked like Kevin was going in there and his normal line, and Nunn kind of drifted up the track a bit right in front of him. I'm not sure if there's anything more that Moody could do. I mean, I'm sure he hit the brakes, but I think at that point there's not a whole lot he could have done.
Yeah, you're right, Joe. You know, after seeing that replay, I don't think that he was expecting him to be there. I thought that he's just running his line. He may not even tap the brakes because he's just expecting the driver on the inside of him to be able to keep it down. And it looks like it slid up in front of him, and there's nothing he could do.
Yeah, I wonder if Kevin Nunn there might have even blown a tire, because that car looked like it shot up the track more than anything.
That is such a helpless feeling when you're on the outside and you suddenly see the inside car sliding up in front of you and no place to go.
So we are on 10 laps to go, completing lap 31 right now. If I'm right, we should get the caution, or the green flag again. with about 7 to go. Am I correct on that?
Yeah, that looks about right. I think I think that from this point forward, everybody's just going to push it as hard as they can.
Yep, I was 1 lap off. We'll have 8 to go. It looks like they're doubling up now, getting ready. Or maybe not. I guess I was wrong on that too. Field getting a little anxious.
You know, it's times like these where if I'm the leader, I'm wishing we were going back to single file at this point.
Yeah, at least being single file, the leader has a bit of an advantage there. You don't have to worry about someone to the outside of you, and no one can pass you on the inside before the start-finish line.
Yeah, I usually breathe a sigh of relief anytime we go back single file.
All right, here we go. Now the field's doubling up. Lights are off the pace car. 1 more lap to green. Austin Belke, your leader, to his outside. J.R. Shepard. To the inside of the next row, you got Donnie Moore and Jeff Harden up there in 4th place. Then the 3rd row, you got Ruben Altice and Steven Hilberts. And taking up the back end, you got Lo Jewell and Jason Menda. And this right here will probably be the final restart, as I expect them to at least go 2 more laps if we get another caution. And at that point, the race would end under caution. Pace car dives off. Green flag in the air, and we're back underway, and both of the leaders spun their tires.
Very uncharacteristic of J.R. Shepard to get sideways like that on a restart.
I don't think I've ever seen him do that before.
And Donnie Moore looks to capitalize. Oh,
he gets into the wall. Gets into Jeff Harden. Jeff Harden bumped him in the rear and put him into the outside wall. But Donnie's able to keep going.
heck of a side-by-side battle going up front.
Yep, JR's making his move. There he is on the inside of Austin, trying to get through the turn. Who's going to come out on top?
This is where your cars are starting to get loose. Your tires are worn out. Your brakes are worn out.
Battle of the teammates, and the oldest manufacturer battle that I can remember ever being on oval racing. Ford versus Chevy.
Well, you know Austin's always going to be driving a Chevy. He loves that 24.
There's a look at the different path motorsports. J.R. Shepard out the back of Austin Belke's car. J.R. looking to the inside. Austin going down. Probably not to block him, just trying to get a good run off of that corner.
Yeah, both these guys race so clean. You know that there's no like real hard blocking going on. There's just too much respect between them.
Most definitely, and them being teammates also helps out with that.
Sometimes, though, there's a bit of a grudge between teammates trying to prove who's number one. But JR and Austin, you know they'll always keep it clean.
Yep. Meanwhile, towards the back there, looks like Ruben Altice is trying to make a move on Lowell. That is for the 5th position. Looks like Ruben can get right up to him, but just can't quite make the move on him.
That is one of the most frustrating feelings when you can feel it in your grasp and it's like the nut gets taken away every time you go to grab for it.
Now Ruben trying the outside. He gets a little loose off of turn 4 there. He's staying with him though. Whew, that was a close call there between Lowell, Jewel, and Jason. Jason was down on the inside, Lowell going in, and they about touched.
Even I puckered up, and I'm not even in a race car.
Oh, Jason there, he got that apron again. And got a little loose there in 3 and 4. Meanwhile, back up front, looks like Austin's been able to hold off JR, and actually now he's pulling away. Well, that's it. I was so busy watching one action,
we forgot about the lead up front.
So Austin Belke, your winner there. Congratulations to him. JR Shepard in second. Jeff Hart in third. Donnie Moore finishes fourth. We'll get you the rest of the running order here shortly.
Lowell Jewell in fifth. Ruben Altice in sixth. Jason Menda in seventh. Looked like Steve Hilbert in eighth. Kevin Nunn in ninth. Kevin Moody 10th.
Yeah, tough break for those guys with that accident that they got involved in. But we'll hit commercial right now, and we'll be back with your top 3 finishers.
But just the way these things are geared, I mean, there's not a whole lot of weight on the rear end, and these things just want to break loose every chance they get. So yeah, I was struggling pretty hard for grip. Thankfully, JR was too, but I definitely lit him up in second gear and then in third gear, and especially on that 3 to 4 change, they really chirped quite a bit.
So this track here, did it feel as abrasive as it looked? Because it looked like guys were struggling with handling and getting loose off the corners. Is that pretty much how it felt out there?
Well, I mean, the track won't really feel abrasive, I guess. You can mostly just tell it is abrasive because as you're going through the corners, the car wants to slide, and you'll have that tire degradation a lot faster. So, I mean, the tires degrading as fast as they did, you could tell it was abrasive, but it certainly wasn't as bad. I mean, these cars have no grip to start out with, so it wasn't as noticeable. I've driven the Cup cars here in 2019 and a little bit of 2020. You can definitely notice in those cars because they have all that downforce, and, you know, stock cars as a whole have just gotten a lot more I'm going to say easier to drive or predictable with where you can put them. So these cars, you could tell they were going slower, but not as drastically as I'd say the Cup cars would.
Well, once again, Austin, congratulations on the win. Anyone that you'd want to thank tonight?
Yeah, I got to thank the good Lord, my parents, my wonderful girlfriend, Jacqueline Jr., for racing me so clean. I think I might have raced him pretty dirty there coming off one, but I couldn't tell if he was going to be down there or not. And you guys for putting on a great show. I know, Joe, I've heard your stuff before. I'm sure Chris did great up in the booth. Ryan's always a good director. So really looking forward to watch this broadcast back. And I got to thank Lowell for putting on the league and everybody that races here. Thank you, guys.
And thank you, Austin. Congratulations once again on the win tonight. Definitely got to feel good. You were second in the points going in. I don't know if you passed JR or not, but if you didn't, this definitely gets you closer to him.
No, it feels good. It feels good. And how about my Different Path Motorsports teammate JR and Team Miller coming in behind me? So got to thank him and the team once again. I don't think we'll be good on points, but thank you guys for your time.
You're welcome, and thank you for joining us.
JR?
All right, well, it looks like that'll do it from Rockingham tonight. The other two apparently didn't want to come up here. That's all right, though. We'll see you guys next week. The next broadcast. Next broadcast will be later on tonight. Will be the Bootleg Racing League National Sprint Car Tour. It's going to be the Silver Crown cars at Milwaukee tonight. It should be a good race. I'll be in that one. Chris, are you going to be joining us for that?
Yeah, I hope to get into that car. You know, I've never driven them at the Milwaukee Mile. Tonight will be the first go. I think they're a lot of fun to drive, so we'll have at it. See you tonight, Joe.
All right, excellent. The next Classic Cup Series broadcast is going to be Friday, August 12th, and we'll be at Richmond, the 3/4 mile that thinks it's a speedway. Very fast track, should be a great race. We'll see you guys tonight at 10:30 Eastern Time for the National Sprint Car Trail. This has been a production of the Bootleg Racing League and Cedar Creek Motorsports Group. Thank you again, everyone, and have a great night.